Good morning.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to Good Medicine. I'm Holly Davis.
I'm Mark Hewlett. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
I'm practicing my languages.
Do you speak any other languages?
I speak French. Je parle français. J'ai tout lang en Afrique. I speak Afrikaans. Ik kan Afrikaans praten. Want ik was in Zuid-Afrika geboren.
How do you say...
I can speak Shona. Mangwanani. Mamukase. Damuka. That's my second language.
What does mama say, mama sa, mamakusa?
That means... No, that's some funky language that goes on to Hollywood studio
That's
pictures.
Michael Jackson. I thought it meant
Mama
something.
say kusa kumakusa.
Yeah, I thought that was... Oh, can we find that song? What song is that?
I don't know, but I dig it.
It's Michael Jackson.
You like it?
I like it. And I like the fact that you're singing on Good Medicine. Last week we were dancing with the Ward family. Wasn't
Yes.
that awesome?
Oh my God. What a family. Dude.
What an amazing...
That girl was just like, it was just a shining
What an
light.
angel in our presence, right?
It's beautiful.
She was so awesome.
And what a thing to go through though in life.
Amazing. And the fact that, Halloween is coming up and that little girl, she was, for the listeners who don't know, she was struck by a car on Halloween 2013. And she literally had to, 90 miles per hour in a residential area, very windy little dark road.
Right near your house.
Right by, literally, I could see everything from my window. And it was horrifying for us as a family and as a community. It rocked us, but we got to actually walk the footsteps that they walked as a family. We didn't even get into the minutia of every day at the hospital, that mom there and that family there and everything else on hold, just wanting that baby to get better. But the car struck her going 90 miles per hour.
It's crazy.
And they never found him. And then what was left is what they had to deal with in life. And so that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today.
I like
the ravages of
letting
life.
letting it go. Because,
letting it go.
I mean, yeah, like they said, you could build up a lot of anger. Look, one of my personal favorites and one of my heroes is Nelson Mandela. Of course, he's from Africa, and he lived a life of, just an incredible racism orientated society, which was, black people in South Africa at the time during apartheid, they had to live in certain areas. They were, marginalized to certain areas, and if they came into town to work, they used to have a thing called a dompas, which is Afrikaans. It's like they had to have like a passport to go into town
in their own homeland.
Yeah. So Nelson Mandela, when he became president, and I just left school, and I get goosebumps when I think about it, because he could have just let loose and just said, you bastards, and he had this thing called the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, which in essence, people like police chiefs, people that ordered killings, murder, they came up, they got on the stand, they cried, they apologized to people who were in the court. It was a Truth and Reconciliation Committee. And it was just one of the most amazing things that I think I've ever witnessed in my whole life. That this man who, could have been full of hatred, just passed on this, and it, in a small way, it's like the family you had last week. It's with the girl. It's a similar situation, because they could hold on to that. They could harbor that grudge against the driver, and still want to go and find him and want justice. But in South Africa, they forgave. Nelson Mandela forgave everybody for some of the most incredible injustices in the world. It's kind of like the leader of. It's kind of like it's almost as drastic as like a rabbi, not pardoning, but sort of giving Hitler a chance to sort of cry it out and say, and apologize to all the family members that he affected. It was that hectic in South Africa.
That effective.
And then he used sport to bring the nation together. It's called the Rainbow Nation. South Africa is a beautiful story of just amazing things. And
and I think that we see things like that. I think when we see what happened with Hitler, there's also things that happened in China. There's also the potato famine.
Everywhere.
There's also, they're just such tragedies that people have done to other people, right? And it's those people who say, you know what? I'm not going to be a victim, and I'm not going to allow you to rule my life. What you did to me, rule my life. I'm going to turn the other cheek, and I'm going to forgive. And I think the world could really use
some of that.
Some forgiveness.
It's such a powerful
accepting
tool.
people.
It's unbelievable. When someone like riles you up, the immediate reaction is like if someone, let's say someone cuts you off driving, you're like, you asshole, or you you know, whatever you say, and you get offended like immediately. But if you just or someone comes to you and they've got a problem and they're right up in your face, if you just calm about it, they've got nowhere to go with it.
If you don't fight, there's no fight. You know what I say to people who cut me off? I say, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you.
Yeah, there you go.
But I really, you know, even if I don't mean it or not, I don't want my intentions for that person to affect my day.
Sure.
Or the bad things that happen affect my day. And really what we're talking about today, and what I really feel that we need to, an issue that we need to address is balance.
I like
balance.
I
and
love
see,
it.
with you, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's because you are, you know, your fear factor, we've got to work out with 6 days a week,
Yes.
45 minutes. And,
Yes.
and I really do love a challenge. And lately in the last couple of days, I have really felt, listening to myself, listening to my body, and taking that time to stop and analyze, which I tell clients every day. And what I emphasize on this program all the time over and over is you have to know yourself. You have to know your life. You have to analyze it. If we're going 1,000,000 miles per hour and pushing full throttle, right? And there's a good time for that. There's a time for everything.
Yes.
But sometimes I just felt like this week I would do the F45, then I would do Zumba, and then some days I would be like, you know what? Mommy's doing yoga.
Yeah.
I'm sitting, or I'm
stretching.
just sitting. I'm meditating. I'm resting my body because that's what I feel like I have to do.
Gotta listen to your body.
You have to listen to yourself. And I think that a lot of times what has come full circle for me with everything that's been going on in my life, and I'll share a little bit because on one of our first programs we talked about, I had a mammogram that was basically, it was unspecified. It was just abnormal. So we don't know anything more than that. And I have an MRI scheduled, and that's really all I know at this point.
Okay.
But when things like that happen, or something happens with your children, or you talk to guests like the Ward family who've been through total devastation, or you see other people in parts of the world who've gone through everything that, like through the apartheid or some of the famines or the wars, it makes you think, you know what, this is not for naught. Or 9/11, when that happened. It's a stop sign for all of us, and they're huge. If what we do with those things, right, we can react in one way or another. And what I still want to quote Dr. Wayne Dyer said, you know, either you think of this world as this big, huge, giant spinning ball of fire that's going to take you down and burn you, or it's a beautiful place. I tend to think that it's a beautiful place and that there's a lot of beauty, and you have to look for it. If you seek it, I am really sure that you'll find it, and every day.
I've got a question for you though. So, because I talked to my girlfriend a lot about this, in terms of, you know, you look at the earth as a whole, and like you said, I mean, the earth's a beautiful place, but what it really astounds me about that, and about tragedy, and, you know, I had a waiter last night, Eddie, from Rwanda, and I mean, Rwanda lost like almost 1 million people, 1 million, okay, genocide. And it's like, what, like, to me, sometimes, like, when I wanted, like, you know, you have all these beauty contests and people, you know, they want the world to be peaceful, and they want all
world peace.
Yeah, world peace.
No one hungry.
But why? It's like, since the beginning of time, and, you know, going back to the Bible days, Cain and Abel, Cain killed his brother, whatever it is, we've never attained peace, ever. There's never been peace on earth. Why? Because everyone wants it. Everyone, Mahatma Gandhi, they all come into the space and they all push for it, and everyone wants love, and love's the greatest thing. Anyone who feels love know that it's way better than, you know, than shooting someone with a gun. Do you know what I'm saying?
Love is definitely better than hate, right?
Yeah, love's better than hate. But why has it taken so long, and why has it never happened? Why has love not conquered all? Okay. In essence, like, my theory would be, you know, we need like a love potion almost, so everyone can take it at the same time and have the effects and actually feel that it's actually a better thing communally. Because otherwise there's people like come forth and they're like, yeah, you know, this is it. You know, you got to be, you got to do this, you got to do that, and they get this following. But it all seems to, like, it's never prevailed, and that's what my thing is. I want it to prevail. You don't know,
though. You don't know that it has or has not prevailed, because what I like to take people through, especially in therapy, when people have really gone through tragedies, and there's a lot of why, or we look at the death question, why? Why do we have these things?
Yeah.
But, you know, in contrast, we also have births every day.
Sure.
We have marriages, you know, a wedding. Yeah, we have divorces, but is there anything more beautiful than a wedding?
Yes.
Is there anything more beautiful than a birth of a child?
Yes.
Is there anything more beautiful than people who actually triumph and win, you know? Fear factor. Can you remember how great did you feel that day, right?
Incredible.
You actually won something.
Incredible.
You did it.
Yeah.
And so the human story, from beginning. You know, Cain slew Abel, but you know what? They had kids after that,
Sure.
and they replenished the earth, and they've learned from those things. And that, I think, is the human story, is that we are flexible, we are resilient, and everyone has a choice. We have a choice to love, or we have a choice to hate. And we have a choice to either receive what other people are putting out to us.
Yeah.
The Four Agreements, one of my favorite books, and I recommend this to all my
I've read
clients.
that. Yeah, it's a good book.
Isn't that a great
Yeah,
book? And
great book.
the Four Agreements are: one is don't take things personally.
Yeah.
Okay. The Holocaust, don't take that personally.
Personally to yourself, yeah.
Don't take even racism. It's individuals
Sure.
making choices that they've grown up with in their culture
Yes.
that they're ignorant. Okay.
Yes.
So, but you have to know what you believe. It's epistemology. Epistemology.
It's a huge word. It's a huge word. I love it.
Epistemological
say it?
self-consciousness.
Epistemologically. What is it?
Epistemology is what you
Epistemology.
believe and why. And if
I'm
you
from
don't-
Africa, sorry.
if you
I'm
don't know what you believe and why your epistemology, then you're going to get off course and off balance. And that's what we do as parents,
Yeah.
as leaders,
Yeah.
as people in the community who know
Keep
what
the
we
balance.
believe. Yes, and if we are sure of those things, then what other people say, do, think, or feel, I'm not responsible for, and I can't control them.
Yeah.
What a beautiful world it would be if I just controlled myself. You control yourself.
Yeah.
And trying to control everybody else is where we get so out of balance. I
Sure.
need you to believe the way I believe.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't work like that. I live the way I live, and I'm an example, and I try to be the best example. And you know what? Like Dr. Seuss says, some days I don't, because sometimes I won't. And unslumping yourself is not easily done. You fall.
Yeah.
We got to get back up. And that's where balance comes from in life. And so we can either get ravaged by the world and get
Yeah.
our butts beat, and some days we do. But it's one of my favorite people in the whole world, God rest his soul, was my Pastor Bill. Love this man.
God rest his soul.
And I went up to him one day and I go, Pastor Bill, I was a young girl and I said, I messed
Help
up
me.
so bad. And he goes, welcome to the crowd.
Yeah. What did you do?
Oh,
Messed up
I
bad?
don't know,
Was it one
something
of-
horrible. My life hasn't been changed
Yeah.
from it, and it hasn't made an
I think you should share
indelible.
that story, Holly.
Oh, it was just something that wasn't congruent with my values. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
sure.
I had very high values for myself most of my life, and it just wasn't congruent, and it
Didn't
broke
feel
my
right.
heart. Yes, something that I even read on your girlfriend Amanda's webpage is like when your soul is insulted by the world.
Yeah.
Misery is when people try to inflict what they want you to be happy about
Yeah.
on you and want you to be happy. That's misery. So it was just one of those situations where I got sucked into something that I really was not appropriate for me.
Yeah.
And I said, I messed up. And I was
Yeah.
just in tears. I was literally on the floor, in a pile on the floor. I messed up. And he laughed and said, welcome to the crowd.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what, Holly? You cannot stay down. If you stay down, the world's going to kick you down. And if you don't get
Hard to
back
get
up
up.
at this point, you're going to just stay a victim. You're not going to move. You get
Yeah.
up. Get up. And thank goodness that I had people like that in my life that said get up. And then there's other people that are just hardy enough to go, you know what? I'm not staying here at the bottom of the ocean as a floating entity of nothingness. You ever felt like a floating entity of nothingness where everything is wrong?
Yeah.
Everything
You
is
can't
out of
see
bounds.
you're at the bottom of the ocean.
Yes, and every human has felt that.
100%.
Every human has felt those feelings.
Yeah.
And so really, it's what we do. It's the people that we've surrounded ourselves, because we're either surrounded by people who are going to lift us up and out of this to
Yes.
help us with our balance, or if you have a friend that's good enough to tell you, Mark, I feel like your life is out of balance, that's
Yes.
a good friend. Or a therapist who, I don't tell people, hey, I think your life is out of balance. I always say it like this. You know, I noticed something and I see something in your life you may not see. Do you want to hear it? And they
love that.
always say emphatically, why, yes, I would love to hear it. Well, and because I see a perspective you may not see, that's
Sure.
why it's important for us to
listen.
have people who say, you know, I might see some things that are out of balance in your life. Are you
Yeah.
welcome to hear this?
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break, balance. We're going to take a balance real quick.
Yeah.
And,
Balance it out.
and we're going to pay the bills here. And by the way,
Oh, there's that tune.
Mama say Mama Sama Sakosa, or something like that. We need to pay the bills. We're looking for sponsors for the program Good Medicine, because I don't charge
Some
people.
money medicine.
Yes, we need money medicine. Money's a good thing, and
us
we
the
need it to
dinero.
flow. Because I don't charge anybody anything to come on the program. We
I
do
love
this
that.
for education and advocacy. I can't counsel everybody in the world. You can't train everybody, but we can give our gifts to those who listen to Good Medicine.
100%.
So we need sponsors for the program. I would like that. a lot. And by the way, you can call us anytime too here at the program, 702-483-4444. If you're lacking balance and you need some mama say, mama sa, mama kusa, okay?
Come
Give
get
us
balanced.
a call. You're listening to Good Medicine. Stay with us.
Don't you worry about a thing.
Mark always
Oh, I
sings.
like this song. I like it. Don't you worry about a thing, Mama. Who sung that?
Stevie Wonder.
Is that Stevie Wonder? I love Stevie Wonder.
Do you sing in your car?
Badly. I did a singing show in New Zealand. It was called Sing Like a Superstar. It was for charity. And just don't look that clip up because I was just my
Everybody
singing
look
was
it up
like
now.
Sing
And
Like a
repeat.
Superstar. I had to do. Yeah, I
we
sang.
find
What did I
that,
sing?
please, Lawrence?
I sung. What did I sing?
Sing Like a Superstar.
yeah.
Mark
Every
Hewlett.
night I get. Every night I go by, give him a bar.
Yeah, it sounds like
it's
you did a
Cher
great
and
job.
someone. Cher and Sunny. Yeah, don't get me to sing. Just yeah.
So
It's
I
just-
guess karaoke is no for you.
Well, I stopped drinking, so yeah, definitely. No. I made a right scoundrel of myself getting up on the mic. Yeah,
you?
but I can rap, so maybe I'll bring that
What?
one time. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He
could do
says he
that.
can rap. What about beatbox?
I don't know. No, I got it. I
No,
heard a
I
really
do
good
know. You
professional.
can't. You
Can I?
can't.
How do you do it?
You can't.
Give me a
I don't know
beatbox.
how, but
Let's
my
go.
girlfriend is a serious beatboxer. She's awesome.
Is she?
My kids too. It's just we're
the
just
younger
not
generation.
The generation. It's not our generation.
Yeah. It's back in the day when I was young. I'm not a kid anymore, but sometimes I sit and wish I was a kid again. Okay, there you go.
Nice.
Not bad.
Lawrence, can you beatbox, please? Please help us out here.
Go, Lawrence.
You know what? I think singing helps people get back into balance. I
Oh,
know
does it?
when I am completely out of balance, and you know your body, and you know by how other people are reacting to you, and you know how you are with your family or in your career or even driving. That's always a good indicator of how you are. If you're clenching the steering wheel and you're angry with
Do
everyone.
you sing
in a
like
hurry.
that when you're holding the steering wheel like that? Because I know you got a beautiful voice, Holly. Let's hear it.
Thank you. You know what? I do love me some karaoke, and I love to sing, but
Okay,
I love
what's
to
your
sing in
favorite
church too. To sing, I like to sing some country songs because I'm from Oklahoma.
Country.
That's right. And I don't know, some rock and roll. I'm a rock and roll girl. I like Pat Benatar, so I try.
Pat Benatar. Oh my God,
I
she's
tried.
old school. She's so good.
Oh, I know. I tried.
Love
Like
it.
Heartbreaker.
What is it? What is a big song?
Heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker.
Or the other one though
Shake it.
is
Another one.
Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Yeah, hit me with your best shot.
Yeah.
Is that Pat Benatar?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
she had such a good album.
Yeah,
like
you know that she started out-
89 or 90.
Yeah,
She's
she's
really good.
amazing. She started out as an opera singer.
Did she?
Can you imagine? That's why
I
she's
got a friend who's
some great
like,
chops.
yeah, amazing opera singer from New Zealand. Same thing, and she's an incredible singer too.
Well,
But started in opera.
You'd think that when you're driving down the street, you're looking for balance, or I'm at my home. The music that I actually want to listen to, because I do listen to people a lot, and I have 5 children that are always
Talking to
talking
you.
and they always
Mommy.
want my attention. So
Mommy.
I prefer music that doesn't have any words in it. So I do. I
Oh, you
am
like percussion?
I'm a nerd. No, I just listen to classical.
Okay.
I listen to classical because I think it opens up your left brain, right
Yes.
brain. Left brain is intuitive.
Left is logical.
Left
Left
is
is
logical.
logical.
Thank you. You were listening to that show, Lawrence. Look
What's
at
right for?
you.
What's right for?
Right is the right brain is the
Left is
intuitive
logical,
side.
right.
Left is logical. And so when you're thinking versus feeling, and
Okay.
so I don't want to think sometimes, so I just turn on that music, and on my way home I just kind of defrag and try to get back balanced,
Defrag.
right? Because I only have like
Is that
from
an
work-
American word?
Sure. I get
Sure.
from work to home, and that's my chance to defrag, and that's just not enough.
I love it.
Balance. How do you balance? And do you ever feel like you're out of whack?
Oh, totally, all the time. And it's a constant. It's a
I'm
constant.
amazed. I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
No,
you
it's a
said it.
constant battle. I do feel it all the time because I don't know. Right now. I mean, obviously we've got the business. Okay, F45.
It's a new
so
business that's starting.
Yes.
And your job is to inspire and incite people to get, go, go, go.
correct to
So
motivate
there's-
and inspire, which
yes.
I love to do anyway. So that comes naturally.
And
But
you're good at it. That's your gift. But is it true that
Yes.
people like you actually get to the point where you can't go on? And how do you get your inspiration when that happens?
God, that's such a good question. So a friend of mine, an ex-girlfriend who has a son her son plays and has just got drafted into the NHL, and he used to play for a team called the Spokane Chiefs. And I remember asking him one day, I was like, dude, before you go on the ice, what do you do? Because I love those. I really love inspiring pieces. I love listening to the president when he's giving a very heartfelt, motivating speech. It's beautiful. It's like a song that really hits you, you know. And when someone speaks so powerfully like that, it's very inspiring. And I love that. And in effect, that's what my plan is. Like, I want to do that. But so there's this guy who he listens to the same thing every time he goes on the ice, which is about this guy. I'm going to get the link, but it's this gentleman talking about how he wants to make it in the world. And
is it a song or
no? It's just like a speech, and he's talking, and you know he wanted to make it. He wanted to make money. Okay, just using money as a thing, but so he goes to this guru who's on the beach, and in essence, what the whole story is about is how the guru tells this guy, if you want to do something so badly, if you want to make money so badly, you know, this is what you got to do. And he suckers him into coming out into the water and pulling him further and further. And the guy's like, dude, what you doing? You're a guru. What am I doing, you know, in my suit in the middle of the ocean? And he's like, a little further, and then just ducks his head down. And eventually, just before he's about to literally die, pulls him out the water. And he said, when you want to breathe as badly as you just did, that's the kind of dedication, motivation. But it's just such a compelling story. It's such a simple story, but it's such a compelling story. And I love stuff like that, because that always balances me out. Like if I'm feeling like unmotivated, or I mean, I really feel unmotivated, but there's times, when there's a lot on your plate, and you know, as a mother, you got 5 kids, and everyone has that's what we're talking about. That's the human experience.
A lot on our plate.
Yeah, a lot on your plate.
But having sometimes the want to, what I find is, like you said, when you went on Fear Factor, you're like, I want this. I want to do this. Yeah. And I don't know if it's luck, if it's intention, if it's prayers, it's other people praying for us. Yeah. Maybe even our ancestors who left legacies for us, and if it's part of our makeup. Yeah. But I really believe that the human body and the human mind is an amazing, miraculous machine. And the human resilience and the stories of people who've survived
some
amazing
stuff,
things, right? And so when I think about those things, one of my very best friends, I could cry thinking about her, she has 5 kids. Okay. She's a single mom. So when I think I've had a rough day.
You think about her. That's a great way to do it too.
She
love that.
Does it, and she does it with grace and charm, and with nothing can be out of balance in her house, because she would lose control, right? So she's got it in control. She also serves and gives and loves in her church. She plays the piano beautifully, and she's always there. If I've ever invited her to anything, she shows up with bells on and a gift. She's actually come to my house
and doesn't complain.
Never complains, and came to my house once and fried me chicken. Okay, the president of the United States was not there, and she came over and fried me. I mean, who does that? So when I'm having a down day, yes, and her, you can see her balance is it's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So all those things seem to work. And so yes, we as humans, we do have a lot on our plates.
Yes.
But the truth is, if we look around, there's people who do that every day and can do it in worse situations than we have, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's about balance for me is being grateful, not thinking irrationally like this is the worst thing ever, or I can't go. I know I've gone to F45 some days, and my girlfriend went earlier and called me and go, oh girl, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I can't even pick my purse up, okay? Is that bad? I can't get up. I think my rib is broken. And I know I've told you before too. I think my spleen was busted.
Ruptured.
I ruptured my spleen. Yeah. And so, you build things up, and I like to call it awfulizing. We awfulize things.
Awfulize, like an invisible awful wall.
Yes, we make it this big, huge thing. And then then I got there and I started rationalizing with myself. I saw you go through all of the exercises that we got to do. See, you reframe it, right?
I love it.
And I was sitting there thinking, that doesn't look that hard. What was she thinking? I don't think that I've seen worse here. Okay, and
then you came in and smashed it.
We smashed it, and the thing is, when you leave, you go, wow, I actually did it.
Against all that awfulness.
Right. It was mind over matter. It's the psychology of not just being physically fit and exercising or overcoming. It's rationalizing. It's the mental, and seeing yourself do it and succeed, and not vomiting afterwards on the sidewalk or dragging yourself to the car, right?
People have done it, but not you.
Not me. And that's what I say. Not me. Not me. Like Dr. Wayne Dyer said, people who are running and runners, they hit the wall. He goes, not me, bro. I don't hit the wall. And so I kind of have to have that too. Like the people who go into the ring, Rocky's trainer is that, you can do this. We're going to do this. Go do it. And so we all have to have those kind of people. Do you think Oprah Winfrey does what she does without a team of people?
You need to motivate.
We need motivation. And because we are very easily inspired.
Easily. That's what I'm saying. It's like I can, if you're feeling the worst, let's say, and you take one, and I've got a lot of them that I look up on YouTube. There's some great, just inspiring stuff. Just about simple stories, but that can pick you out in a second. It's like a song. There's a way a song makes you feel. That, in essence, if you're watching something that's inspirational, motivational, you can change your whole dynamic.
Immediately,
you can literally, if you think the world's coming to an end, and then suddenly you hear something inspiring, like, oh my God, like I'm going to write that book I was going to write 5 years. I'm done. I'm doing it. But the hard thing is, and I think, or not the hard thing, but it's to have that constant motivation. So even having like inspiring pieces to keep. So if you're feeling like that, you can just sort of listen. You're like, okay, I'm back in the game.
But
because you do jump out.
You jump out of the fire all the time. But the thing is, constant motivation, it doesn't exist.
No.
So what that means is, yes, we need to surround ourselves with people that are inspiring to us and elevating.
Yes.
And having a list and happy people. Yes. You don't want a whole bunch of fun suckers all the time, or I call them emotional vampires all the time. Balancing those people, because we do help them as well. But a lot of times when you don't want to write that book, I've actually read some authors say write when you're inspired, because that's really a great time. Really a great time. But when I wrote a book as well, and it's available on www.goodmedicineranch.com.
Love it.
But you also write when you're not inspired, when you don't feel good, when you don't want to do it. You do it anyway. Just like my sock mountain in my house. We never have matching socks, and the sock mountain is butt high in my house.
Sock mountain, I love it.
I'm going to tell you, we just make ourselves do some of the things that we don't want to do. And I think that's a big concept for children. I work with a lot of children. Like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to listen to her. I don't think that person has good ideas. And it's probably true.
Yeah.
A lot of times when kids feel like adults don't like them, I say, just like one of my mentors taught me, Christy Cunningham. She's a great marriage and family therapist here. She's like, I tell kids all the time, I do things I don't want to do all the time. I have to get up and go to work too, right? Because there's things we do want. And
so by association, so then they figure it's not as bad.
Right. Well, they're like, well, if my mom has to get up and go to work, I have to go to school too. Now, there's also a balance, and we're going to talk about the balance. We're going to take a break.
What about balance?
We're going to talk about that balance, because do we do everything everybody wants us to do? Do we have to do everything is expected of us?
No.
Thank you. I like that song. Hit me with your best shot. What I tell my kids, speaking of your best shot, is that when there are adults who are not investing in you, who don't care about you, who are not entrusted with your well-being, there's some people that you don't have to take everything they say as factual and actual, right? If your teacher, you have to balance it. If your teacher says you're the worst student in the class, that's not possible, right? No. You don't listen to those kinds of things. But if you're listening to people who care about you, that's when the balance of receiving what they have to say. And sometimes you don't receive everything they have to say. We're talking about balance. You're listening to Good Medicine.
Balance.
Stay with us.
What a
Don't
tune.
worry.
Love it. What a song.
Be happy. You know what the key of life is?
Tell me. I want to know.
Don't worry. Be happy. Really, it's be happy. Find happiness, right? Follow your bliss. Find things that make you happy, and really, you don't have to listen to everybody that everybody says. Will you just keep it up still, please, a little bit? I just kind of like it as
I like it.
The back. Really, misery. The best definition of misery is when people try to impose their happiness on you and make you think that you're happy and like it. And even for children, I know that maybe they have a teacher that asks them to do things and they don't want to do it, or they maybe don't feel that teacher likes them, or it's hard to be inspired, because we are very easily inspired, but we're also easily defeated. We get defeated very easy as humans, right? I can 100%. Walk outside here and get defeated, you know.
And then saying, it's all about balance, isn't it? Balance.
Balance.
So how do we get that balance?
So the how-to is obviously, it's really in our mind. Mm-hmm. They call it cognitive behavioral thinking. Cognitive behavioral therapy is just thinking. your thinking. So if you are finding that you have a lot of people telling you should do this, you should do that, shooting on you, and you should be here, and you need to be there, and why weren't you in training, and things like that, you've got to listen to yourself and do what's best for yourself.
Okay.
And we even can train our children as well to find balance in that as well.
Okay.
So you have to do homework when you come home. And here's what I like to tell my children. You have to get your homework done by this time. You don't have to do it exactly when I say or how I say, or I don't have to do it for you or with you. You're capable. I trust you that you can get the homework done.
Yeah.
And the balance is you get it done at this time. So if you need to take a break, if you want to go play first, it's up to you, but you have to get it done at this time, because after that, then that, so we have to give them balance of, you can't just do everything you want carte blanche, right?
Sure.
And it's just like you can't just go do everything you want.
No.
But we can find balance. Some areas of balance that I find that I'm seeing a lot with clients that it's pretty devastating is how much time we're on social media. iPads for kids over 40 hours a week. And even in my own home.
Is there are kids that are on 40 hours a week?
Well, think about it. If you're on there 5 hours a day, I mean, most people, that's probably
crazy.
Minimal. And then on the weekends, you could be on there 10 hours a day till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I know I'm speaking to someone.
Yeah.
They're on it, social media, or on our phones, or watching Vines, or watching YouTube and watching videos. And that is really out of balance. Something that you're doing, like that guy who wants to be successful and wants to be rich, think and grow rich and have everything. I think finding a balance is being happy with the things that you do have. And listening to yourself as well when it comes to work and getting things done.
Yeah.
Does everything on your list have to get done today? If not, what are the things that are the most important things, and work on getting that done? And then if you don't, really awfulizing it or being irrational and thinking it's the end of the world if you didn't meet that deadline. Maybe there's a reason. And maybe you need to stop, because if you weren't able to get to all those deadlines and you're stressed out,
it's too much.
It's too much. Maybe you need to stop.
Yeah, I think scheduling is important, obviously, because in this day and age, especially with the internet, I mean, you can go 10 hours if you want on social media. Easy. So then everything else suffers. So like what I try and do now, because I'm, hella busy, I'll schedule. And it's not something I really, I wasn't as astute in it before, but I've had to become a good scheduler, because then it's like, okay, cool, I've got a rest period there, going to be, got the gym, got the class there, radio. So you can balance, you can put out the work effort, but then at the same time you can counter that with some relaxation, because I think that's also very important.
And how do you relax?
I read. I like to read. And then I also do creative projects. So I like to spend time doing that. That's also relaxation for me. Or just like the Japanese way, just a 10-minute nap is just a great way to relax,
So you allow yourself a 10-minute nap. That's awesome.
10 minutes, that's all you need. You don't need an hour.
Do you ever just veg and just sit and just do nothing?
I never watch TV. I never turn the TV on. I watch one movie a week, that's it.
Okay, that's a good balance.
Yeah.
What about like just ever one whole day? Like you give yourself a 10-minute break, but do you ever give yourself an entire day?
Yeah, we don't do anything on Sunday.
Okay, that's great. So
just
now
absolutely nothing.
So on Sunday, can you eat pie and just?
Yes, you can also. You got to balance. You got to balance your food intake too. It's important to. It's very important to be on a good diet, if you want to call it that. Good, healthy, organic, whole foods is really. You're going back to the Bushman days. You want to eat like that.
So
everything changed because we came to town. If there's no town here, we'd be in the bush.
Right.
And you'd pick your lemons off the tree, you pick your oranges off the tree, you'd kill a cow, kill a goat, you'd skin it, eat the meat. You'd
have to work hard.
If you're a carnivore.
Right?
Yeah, you'd have to work hard, but there's the balance.
Food.
You work and then you enjoy.
And there's nothing better than to eat, drink, and be merry.
Yes.
So for me, finding balance and actually stopping and sitting, I've found very difficult, because I do push myself a lot.
Yes.
And I do have 5 children, and they pull me in a lot of different directions, because I
can't imagine with 5 kids. I can't.
Well, and listen, they're all different developmental stages. So pre-K, kindergarten, elementary, middle school, and he wants to do football, high school, and so they all have needs, and they all want my time. And really, we don't have to be doing a lot. I don't have to take them and shop, or we go somewhere or anything. They just want one-on-one. So when I walk in there, it's mom, hey mom, can you sign this paper, mom.
Yeah.
So it can get very overwhelming. And so really trying to making an effort to show each one the time. And I have a husband, and my husband's my most high maintenance baby. Your relationships require a lot of time and energy and effort.
Yes.
And I've been very blessed and very fortunate with many good friends. I've got girlfriends that I've had my whole life, right?
That's important.
Good friends, and I want to see them. So
Support.
it's like every quarter I get to hang out with my girlfriends, and just go out with them. Now, I have a twin sister, and
Who's very cool, by the way.
Yeah, so cool. How fortunate that I have a twin sister that I got to go through the earth with, and she came out she's been here for 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
And so it was just so nice to have this respite, to have my sister had my back, and she's been helping me clean and cook. Who does that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Who does that? And she went
That's
with me to my doctor's appointments that were kind of these, could have been a scary thing,
Yes.
right? So she went with me to hold my hand, because once in a while, I think people have this thought that I can always just do things
Just
and
do
handle
things,
things. I can't. I'm the warrior. The warrior is a child. Am I a warrior? Am I a fighter? Do I have a lot on my plate? Yes. And then there's sometimes that I don't have it all together.
Yeah.
I'm a hot mess, right?
Yeah.
And so you need those people in your life.
Yeah.
And if you don't have them, that's a great place to analyze and look for balances. I need those kinds of people that help balance me.
Yeah.
And so last weekend, just on the fly, we're like, you know what? Let's go to California. Let's go to California. Let's get in the car and go.
Where'd you go? LA or what?
Well, my mom, we put her ashes at a beach in California. She wanted to be put in the ocean, right?
That's what my mom wants to. So which beach you go to?
Well, this is the interesting thing about this story. She always called this little beach Baby Beach.
Okay.
And it's in Marina Del Rey. And
was it the one on the inside?
It's
near this Cheesecake Factory.
Yes, exactly.
I stayed at the hotel right there. I know that beach.
We stayed at that hotel too. It's awesome.
Paddleboard.
Yes.
Very cool.
But what I found out about that beach is it's called Mother's Beach. We didn't know that. She always just called it Baby.
But Baby Beach is cool. I like Baby Beach.
She calls it the Baby Beach because it's the little baby beach.
Tiny, yeah.
And so we went to the Cheesecake Factory, and I did have cheesecake pie. I'm just going to say it was the best cheesecake we ever had.
Only once a week.
It's like once a year that I get cheesecake, but we enjoyed it. And we sat on the beach and we picked little rocks, and we went to Venice Beach and just watched the ocean, because I feel like the ocean's very healing and balancing. We stopped at every ghost town, every side of the road, every jerky station, everything that we wanted to do to just enjoy and talk. I mean, when's the last time you were able to sit with someone and just talk? Do you have siblings?
I got my sisters in Australia, yeah. But that's even hard, because she's got kids, she's full on. So it's like to sit and chat with her. I used to do a lot more when we were in the same country. So I feel like, when I was living in Australia, it was great to go around and, hang out and chat. Just
for
she
hours.
loves doing tea and talk, which is great. But even today, even with the way the lifestyle is, just with, the demands of the world, it's harder to find that time.
It's very difficult. But if we don't, as a society, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to put this out there, you're listening to Good Medicine.
Yes.
And I'm going to say from my perspective, I really feel that our entire culture is very out of balance with mano-a-mano, one-on-one conversations with our children, with our spouses, with our partners, with our friends, with our business associates. It's, hey, how you doing? Good morning. You want some coffee? It's not very good today. Bye.
Did you watch WALL-E?
Yeah, I love that show.
What stood out for you in that movie? Like, give me one scene.
The roly-poly people rolling around and they could barely walk because they're so consumed with their electronics. And my kids always make fun of me about that.
Because one part in the movie, they're out in space, and the guy's sitting here, and they're conversing just like us, but they're not looking, and they're right here,
right,
with their screen like this, and there's no communication. They're so overweight because they just and they fly by cars.
You know what? And honestly,
I feel like it's going there.
It is in studies. There have been studies, and I'll put them on Good Medicine, post them so that you can see. Yeah. Research has been done that children who spend hours on the computer doing video games or watching too much television, and we're talking hours of television when they could be doing something else, right? When you do that, they literally are unable to look at you in the eye. I want you to notice.
Isn't that weird?
Today, everybody who's listening, I want you to do an experiment.
Yeah.
walk
Engage
about,
properly.
go to the mall, go do some people watching, which I find very therapeutic and balancing, because
like that.
you can see a lot about people just in the way they carry themselves and their facial expressions. And I do that with my kids a lot. I'm like, well, what do you think? Do you think that person has a lot on their mind, or do you think that person's angry, or do you think that person loves themselves? Do you think that person's having a good day? So we just analyze people.
You'd be a great actor.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'd like to act.
Yeah.
And my kids are like that too. They're
they?
very animated.
Love it.
But, the thing is about defragging and watching people and noticing, if you'll notice today, how many people look you in the eye when you're talking to them.
Yeah.
Lawrence like
Lawrence always does.
I hope she's not talking to me. But go to the mall and they're either like this, or you walk past them and they don't even give you up. And what happened to, hey, what's up? How you doing? How's it?
It's going. I
Howdy.
promise you it's going.
Good morning.
Yeah.
We're going to take a little break, and you guys are going to do your experiment today of talking to people and asking them, how are you doing? And actually wait for their answer.
Yes.
You'd be amazed.
I always, at the gym, when we ever like high-fiving someone or thing, you always look directly in the eyes, because you got to have, I mean, that's
connection,
contact.
right?
Yeah, you don't go like, oh, well done, and look the other way. The person feels weird, but that's what's happening.
We're losing balance
touch.
and contact and connection. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that when you come back with us on Good Medicine. Stay with us.
Yeah.
Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing
It's gonna be alright.
Love this song. Love it.
I think
What
that's
a
the
tune.
key. Isn't
What
that
a
true?
tune.
Man, what a legend this guy was. What he said is, it's timeless, right?
It's gonna be all
Everything
right.
is going to be all right. Don't worry. I think worry is one of the greatest ills, and one of the greatest things that I talk to people is how great they worry over things that are really, if we talk them
Not
through
important.
rational thinking, that's maybe irrational, that you're thinking that this is bigger than it really is. I try to bring them out of their situation, out of the state, out of the earth, out of the universe. And
Yeah, that's a good.
Take
I
it
do
away,
too.
right?
Like how small are we in the context of things?
And how
We're just
small
a
is this
funny little
problem?
Planet, just grain of salt in this big thing. What is it about?
And you're making it a big, huge deal. And and with a lot of understanding and empathy, I understand that I could see how this could be very huge for you and understanding. But I think one of the keys is we kind of get fixated. We get focused on problems and issues instead of looking big picture. And instead of worry, the contrast for me would be, when is the last time, and I ask clients and people this all the time, when's the last time you had fun?
Yeah, I have fun all the time, which is important. I mean, I have fun every day in the class because people.
It is actually very fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun, and that's what it's about.
How could getting in
That's
shape be fun? People have this thought that it's not, but it is actually very
it's
fun. I
if
enjoy
you're
going.
enjoying yourself, then and you're making progress. I mean, you can go to a workout that's you'll feel terrible. It's not fun, But that's one of the main through lines of F45 is to have that element. That's the vibe, which is being created in Australia and is being exported around the world.
And once
in every
people get a
studio,
hold
it's
of
the
that,
same.
I think it's going to really spread.
Yeah.
Would you please give people the number so that they can come do F45 with us? Because it is really actually fun. It's very fun.
Yes, they can call us in anytime at 702-582-3331.
582-3331.
Do it.
It's F45. It is actually very fun. So finding the balance of working out physically, emotionally, making sure that you're not awfulizing or making things bigger than they really are, giving yourself some grace and some credit and some mercy. One of the other, the 4 agreements is don't take things personally. Always do your best. If you're having a bad day or you don't feel good physically, then maybe, hey girl, maybe we have a guest coming in too.
Oh, do we? Cool.
Maybe you should not take things personally.
Hey,
Let me
girl.
get you a chair.
Who's this lovely lady?
I'm gonna
Hello.
We have a guest. I
love
actually
it.
went out and had
Surprise
fun
guest.
last
I love
night.
it.
Yeah, it is. We went out last night. Do we have a little headphone? And will you hand me that headphone, Mark, please?
Sure.
And we met this beautiful lady, and it's Miss Desert States.
Yes.
Okay. And she has this beautiful banner on last night. Of course, if somebody has a banner on, I want to know exactly why. What's going on?
What was it?
So tell us a little about yourself. And I said, hey, come on to the show tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me,
thanks for
Holly.
coming over.
Yeah. So I recently relocated here to Nevada.
Okay.
And
Where are you from?
Park City, Utah.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Originally from Georgia.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So, but you won the Desert States.
Yes.
And the first thing I asked you is, what's your platform? And you told me
Domestic violence.
domestic violence.
Yes.
And
awareness.
so today we've been talking about balance, and we're just wrapping up the 4 agreements to not take things personally, don't assume things, always do your best, and be impeccable with your word. And one of the biggest things for me when I teach about domestic violence and nonviolence is not taking people's toxicity on you. What would you have anything like? You have 60 seconds to share what you think about domestic violence and not taking people's stuff on.
Yeah, well, it's really important to be accountable to own our part in any situation. And when we take on someone else's past, someone else's history, and we allow that to become a part of our space, that's when we get into problems. Yeah.
So as far as
That's good.
domestic
That's good.
violence, I want to
Yeah.
tell people right now, and my biggest statement for domestic violence or any kind of violence, there's no excuse for abuse.
No.
Exactly.
You never do anything to deserve being abused.
Agreed.
Thank you so much for coming in. Tell me your name again.
Carita Davis.
Carita.
Yeah.
Davis. She's Davis like me.
Yes.
Miss
So
Desert States.
great energy.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
great
coming
energy.
in
Thank you.
and dropping in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're listening to Good Medicine. I'm Holly Davis, and my number is 626-9400 if you ever want to make an appointment. And my co-host is Mark Hewlett.
Yeah,
You guys
what
have a
up?
great day.
Holla.
Don't worry. Be happy. Find balance.